So basically with my last video, I talked about how I had my appointment with my OBGYN. He's a gynecologist. He's not like a normal OBGYN. And we talked about like hysterectomy, endosurgery, and all that stuff. And I was very confused, very, very, very confused. And so I decided to have a second appointment with him to kind of get some things cleared up without my mom, because the majority of the time he was kind of talking to my mom, and I don't really know why that was happening, but nonetheless, we were both confused, and so I'm glad we got that cleared up. I feel like I'm talking fast. Am I talking fast? I don't know. So basically what we decided is that he is going to get me cleared for a hysterectomy, and that's kind of like up in the air. Like I guess they could say no, but it's most likely that they won't. Then again, you know, the world is stupid, people are stupid, women don't have rights over their body, who knows what they'll say. But he did say that I have enough reasons, valid reasons, for them to possibly say yes. So let's say they say yes. If they say yes, I would basically be giving him the go-ahead that if he sees stage 3, stage 4 endometriosis, to go ahead and take out my uterus. I would do a full hysterectomy, which is uterus and cervix. Full hysterectomy does not mean ovaries. My left ovary does look like it could be adhered to my uterus, so if that's the case, he would remove that one and keep the right one if it is healthy. So I'd basically be like, I would be going into surgery, if you see this, do this, if you see this, do this, if you see this, do this, type of thing. Now, I explained to him that even if I didn't have endometriosis, I still think that a hysterectomy is in my best... What's the word? Why can't I think? A hysterectomy is my best interest. And so I kind of talked to him and opened up a little bit more. And I told him, like, you know what, I don't want a hysterectomy. This is something that I am grieving and I'm very sad about. But I think it is in my best interest. So, I see myself, I'm going to be getting a hysterectomy at one point in my life. And, theoretically, I'd like to do it sooner rather than later, to kind of limit the amount of suffering and uncomfortable shit that comes along with having a uterus, like personally, and so I want you to, do what you need to do on a doctor type of side to get approval for it, because I want the ability to go in there on surgery day and say, you know what, I've decided to go ahead and just, do a hysterectomy. Even if you don't see it, I'd like you to remove my uterus, and I think he agreed to that. I did tell him that I think it'd be easier if we did the if we did the excision surgery and then later on did the uterus later on. Granted, I don't want to do 2 surgeries, but I think that'd be easier emotionally, because right now endo is not confirmed. You cannot confirm endo until they do exploratory surgery, and most of the time exploratory surgery is mashed up with excision if they see it. And so I told him that I think it'd be easier emotionally if endo was confirmed, because even though endometriosis, like getting hysterectomy is not a cure for endometriosis, I still think it'd be easier emotionally, because I don't know, I just do, and he kind of saw that and agreed with that. And he did say, like, you are a good candidate basically for hysterectomy. You have a lot of crap that can make it complicated, but he was like, I can see why this is something you would think would help you. I want to jump in here and kind of help out myself explain things. And I think the reason I have such a hard time saying go ahead and do the hysterectomy is because while I have all these reasons, I can't just name a diagnosis. Like, I can't just say I had cancer, or I had fibroids everywhere, or I had adenomyosis. Is that how you say it? It's endo inside the uterus. We don't think I have that. We could be wrong, but we don't think I have that. And so I have a million reasons to do it. I just don't have something that in my head equates with a 100% valid reason, because it is valid, but it's a million tiny reasons that make up this huge reason. And tiny might be the wrong word. That's probably not fair to myself, but I think if he went in there and he could confirm endometriosis, I think that would feel a little bit better about doing it. if that makes sense. But yeah, there is just such a big, huge grief surrounding a hysterectomy that I can't, be logical about it completely like I'd like to be. The emotions are stronger than my logical side, and I normally operate out of logic stuff, like emotions are there, but they're normally not higher than the facts and everything. And so I'm frustrated with myself because I really don't think I'd be able to tolerate a pregnancy and tolerate the time it would take to get pregnant. And I would not be able to get pregnant naturally, morally, and probably, just health-wise, I don't think I could get pregnant naturally. And morally speaking, because I don't want to be passing on my genes. If I was to carry a child, it would be either an embryo adoption or an egg adoption. Which, there's a money barrier there. And this, is a hypothetical thing, with the assumption that I have a partner that can support me and I have the ability to be a parent. Right now I don't, just like health-wise and stuff. That's not to say that other disabled people can't be parents. They can. It's just I am so completely debilitated that there would need to be extraordinary measures in place for me to be a parent, at least at this moment. And I don't really see that happening. And so there's such a finality about the hysterectomy, because it's not like I can say, I'm just going to be adopting. It's not that easy, because there's a good chance that they could discriminate against me. Like, even if somehow I was able to get into a place where I could parent, even if that was a case, like, there's a huge chance that, like, I won't be able to adopt just because the world is made by idiots. So going into this, it feels very final. Obviously, a hysterectomy is final, but it's not the finality of the hysterectomy. It's the finality of, like, you're saying goodbye to all of your chances to not get pregnant, but to be a parent. And I think that's the part that makes it so scary. Because if I could guarantee that if I had the ability to be a parent one day, that I could adopt, then I don't think it would be as emotional and scary. There would still be emotions and it'd still be scary, but I don't think it would be this intense. It feels like a death. It feels like I am grieving children that I did not get to meet yet, but I've met in my heart, in a sense. And so the plan right now is to probably say, if you see this, if you do this type of thing. I do wish I could have the ability just to be able to, go in there, cut out endo if you see it. If you don't cut out endo, still cut out my uterus, because, that's what would be the best for me. I do think that makes it easier for me to post these videos before I know what happened, though, because, I haven't made it yet, but I am going to be making a video about my fear of talking about this, because I feel like I'm going to be embarrassed if I end up backing out of a hysterectomy, because I don't feel very validated in the decision, I think, even though I have completely valid reasons for it. I just don't feel validated in the decision, because I feel like I personally, I don't know how to explain it. Like, let's say I had cancer, if someone said, hey, I'm sad because I had to have a hysterectomy because of cancer, you're not, a lot of people, or majority of people, would not see that as, like, you deciding to get a hysterectomy. You kind of had to get a hysterectomy. If it is for quality of life issues, granted, it's not a decision in a sense, but in a sense it is too. It's both. And I feel like, the grieving process is going to be very, very difficult, and I don't think it's going to, most people view a grieving process as you do each stage and then you're done. That's bullshit. And so this is going to be something that is going to be weighing on me for the rest of my life, and I know that. And I feel like people are going to have a harder time being comforting if it wasn't like this life or death thing. It's a quality of life thing. And so I feel like in my brain I don't see it as valid. Even though it is valid, my brain is telling me it's not. And I don't know how to get over that. And so that's basically what it went. It went really well. He did bring up some weird things. He brought up my nose piercing for some reason, and I kind of feel like he was hinting at, like, I think he was hinting at the fact, like, you purposely caused pain to yourself. So if you're going to be doing that, why should I take the fact that your uterus is causing pain to you as serious? I don't think that's how he meant it, but I think also maybe he did. And I try to explain to him that, like, the piercing does not cause me any sensory issues, and I do not get to pick where my sensory issues are. And the piercing really was not painful. The most painful part about a septum piercing is the clamps. And I went to a piercer that's free-handed, and he's also APP approved. And so, I felt his fingers, the pressure of his fingers, but I did not feel the needle. So much so that I asked him, like, are you gonna poke me yet? Because I wanted him to tell me when he was gonna poke me. And he's like, oh, I already did. I'm sorry. And so I literally did not feel the needle. Some people do, some people don't. I did tear up a little bit, but it was because I had a grown man's fucking fingers in my nose. It wasn't because there was a needle going through my nose. A lot of people have the misassumption that it's going through cartilage. It's not going through cartilage. It's going through the soft spot in your nose, which is extremely thin. It's thinner than your ear. It is so thin, it's like webbiness, like a frog. It's so fucking thin. So fucking thin. And the needle is like a scalpel. So it's cutting a hole and then slowly widening it. It's not like if you went to Claire's and got your ears pierced and you're jabbing a blunt thing through your skin, And I explained that to him and he's like, okay. I still think the fact that he brought it up was stupid and kind of shows me how ignorant he is regarding piercings. But let's say that, like, it is. Like, I am the person that wants tattoos. So let's say I had a tattoo on my arm and he said that. Personally, my answer would be that when you are sick, you have a relationship with pain. I don't know if other people would agree with this or not, but I feel like I have a relationship with pain, and it is mostly, everybody's relationship with pain is pretty much negative, because pain, who enjoys that really, But I feel like getting jewelry and body modifications like tattoos would help and does help my relationship with pain. I get poked on a weekly basis, and there is nothing really positive about it. If I go to a tattoo shop and I get a new piercing, I am getting poked, but that needle is not a negative thing anymore. It is a positive thing. So it kind of helps my relationship with stuff. If I go to a tattoo place and I get a tattoo one day, which I hopefully get to have that experience, I am going to be causing pain to myself, but that pain is going to have a beautiful outcome. My endo pain does not give me a beautiful outcome. It gives me something that is devastating. I am losing a part of myself eventually, probably. And I can't put into words how sad that is. I wish I told him that. Hopefully, maybe I can tell him that eventually, but because I'd like him to never ask that to somebody again, because I thought it was kind of stupid and a little disrespectful. But yeah. So I think this video went as well as I was going to go, so thanks for listening to it, and I'll see you later. Bye!